crafters, and welcome to Creative Moments by G. We are so happy that you are here with us today. We are going to work with flowers and more flowers with a stamp set called Art Gallery from Stampin' Up. And we just love this, and the reason we love it is that it feels truly like you're at an art gallery when you create these flowers. It's a two-step process, it's very quick, and yet it gives you such a beautiful flower, a flower that we know will bring joy to all. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. I wanted to show you the card that we're going to make today. Isn't that lovely? We are creating our own background using this stamp set. We picked some coordinating colors that I think really go well together and just create that pop that you need to really bring joy to someone. We also embossed our sentiment, which I think really makes it pop. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need your base card, and we've decided to pick Pretty Peacock and Poppy Parade as our colors that we're going to work with on this card. So cut your base card 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And remember, all these dimensions will be listed over on the blog. And that link is listed below the video. So we invite you to join us over on the blog. So we've cut a few mats. We're going to double mat it. This card is going to go just like a portrait style card. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and bring in our flowers that we're going to be stamping. Now when I say a two-stamp process, you stamp the full size one that gives you the background of the flower, stamp it with the light color, and then you come in with the details with your darker color. So let's go ahead and get out our ink that we'll be using. We are using a lot of inks today. Garden Green, Old Olive, Real Red, Pretty Peacock, and Flirty Flamingo. And our Real Red and our Flirty Flamingo will be the two-tone flower that we're going to have. So let's go ahead and get those open. Okay, the first thing we need to stamp is our base of our flower. So we're picking up this one that has a solid background, and we are going to stamp that in the lighter color, which is Flirty Flamingo. We're going to go ahead and do one over to the side right here, and do one down in the corner. And notice how I turned it, because when you bring in this one that brings in the definition, you'll need to remember how you turned your flower. We're going to stamp that, just line it up. And what's so great about this, it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, that is so pretty. Now I turned this just a little bit. I turned it again, and we are creating our background. You don't even have to have any designer series paper, but you will have a beautiful background. Now we're going to close these up and bring in our second flower that is smaller. And it also has a solid background, and then the stamp that has more dimension to it. So the colors we're going to use for that are Pretty Peacock and Night of Navy. Now because Pretty Peacock can be kind of dark, we're going to stamp off so that it's not too dark on our card. It's a little bit lighter. Stamp off and put it up here. Then we're going to go ahead and bring it down at the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to stamp the inside of the flower with our Night of Navy. And it just goes on this center flower right there. We're going to bring in our leaves, and we're going to use Garden Green. And notice how I didn't bring in any color over here on this part of the stamp because I knew I was going to go over this flower. Now I can bring in the whole stamp. Now we have some empty spots there that we really need to cover up because this is a background. And so we're going to bring in Old Olive, and we're going to bring in another leaf that we have from another stamp set that's just very small. And see if we can't just kind of bring that in. Now I'm going to clean this off, and I'm going to use a darker garden green just on this leaf, just on one of the leaves. And I'm turning my paper because it's very hard just to turn your hand, right? Look at that. That background is really shaping up, isn't it? And now we are going to just use a little pencil that we have that has some dots on it, and we're going to bring it in with the Flirty Flamingo. And there we have our background. That is so pretty. These flowers are just beautiful. I love this two-tone process. Makes you look like you did so much work, right? We're going to bring in our card, and we are going to go ahead and lay our pretty peacock down with some adhesive. We are going to put this on some adhesive. If you wanted to step it up with dimensionals, you could do that, but it's just so pretty by itself. Now look at that card. That is really pretty. Those flowers. So much dimension. Let's go ahead and lay down our card on the inside. Now on the outside, what we want to do is take a strip of paper of Pretty Peacock, and we want to go ahead and emboss our saying. Now, what you need to do is get your piece of paper, put your magnets down, and then really press hard. And I would recommend that you use a Stamparatus or something that is going to allow you to stamp it twice. Now that is a good stamp, but I'm missing a little bit on the U over here, so I'm going to stamp again. Oh, and as you can see, that really got a good impression. So now what we need to do is simply take our white embossing powder, and I went ahead and I used my anti-static buddy on there, right? You want to make sure and do that so that you don't get any on the rest of your card. And there you have it. And now I'm going to go ahead and emboss this with my heat gun, and I'll be back. Okay, now I have cut this down to size so that it fits right on the front of my card. Isn't that pretty? And I'm going to set mine up on dimensionals because I want to give it that extra height. Now we also need to stamp something on the inside of it. I'm going to come in with the dimension now. Look at that. And I think we need a little leaf on there so it's not just sitting out there by itself. And now we're going to stamp the inside message, thinking of you. So what do you think of this card? Isn't that pretty? Don't you love the two-tone? We picked coordinating colors, I think, that really make this card pop. Now here's the one that we did earlier. Look at the difference in the colors. We used purples, and here we used reds. Which do you like best, the purples or the reds? Now, using this same stamp set, look at this beautiful card we made. We went ahead and stamped using the two-stamp process, but they also come with dies set. So we cut out this flower and we cut out these flowers and put them right on top of our decoration right here. We used the stitch nested label dies to cut these beautiful rectangles out that have beautiful stitching. Can you see that stitching? Oh, so pretty. Now this is just a designer series paper. So this is even faster to do, right? You just cut yourself a mat with designer series paper and put it down. We used two sizes of these nested labels, and then we split it in the middle on this second one and just brought it out to create that border. We also completed the inside of this one, You Make My Life Better, so beautiful. And once again, we used the two-step process. We love this stamp set, Art Gallery. Don't you love this stamp set, Art Gallery? It almost makes you feel like you're an artist. Oh my goodness, and the flowers turned out so pretty. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. We hope that you have a stamp set that you can also go ahead and stamp that perfect card, bring joy to someone's life, and remember, go out, be safe, be healthy, be creative in your crafting, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.